Good morning, Belle. Well, there's a packed agenda today in Brussels when the Premier Lee is hosted by Jean-Claude Juncker, the Commission President, and Federica Mogherini, the head of the European Foreign Affairs Department. They'll be gathering here in Brussels at around 1 o'clock, and then at 4 o'clock they'll be having a press conference, and over lunch they'll be talking about a number of issues like climate change and the implementation of the Paris Agreement. They'll also talk about cybersecurity and the development of 5G, and of course the role of Huawei here in Europe. They'll also look into the Belt and Road Initiative, where EU member states are currently divided on, and with Italy signing its own memorandum of understanding with China recently, last in March. That will be discussed, and also foreign affairs, human rights, a number of foreign affairs issues like Venezuela, Myanmar, Syria, Ukraine, Russia, issues that they're likely to agree on. But what the main elephant in the room today will be, of course, trade. We'll see a rather frustrated Jean-Claude Juncker perhaps have a go at China for not making good at the promises they made at a summit between themselves back last July in Beijing, when back then China promised to speed up talks on an investment agreement by 2020 and also to open up more its markets to European companies. So that will be a tough conversation that will be had today in Brussels when those counterparts sit down to talk.
Well, as you say, Meabh, trade ties rather very high on the agenda, but also the EU's desire for China to open up its economy. How's that likely to go?
Well, this will be the focus, of course, of those talks today. We will see the European Union side really much sit down and ask China to make good on their promises. And Jean-Claude Juncker has been very clear about this. He was at a mini China summit there a couple of weeks ago in France, and afterwards he vented his frustration. He said it's just not fair that Chinese companies have access to all areas here in Europe, but it's not the same when it comes to European companies over in China. And we're hearing as well, Belle, that expectations for this summit are pretty low. There might not even be any sort of a summit conclusion, i.e. a declaration after this meeting. We heard that negotiations among officials were pretty tough and pretty difficult, and a number of countries like Germany and France and Belgium and Sweden have said that they won't just sign off on a declaration if China does not come good on a number of issues regarding the economy and human rights.